Welcome back to Leap with Francesca. I am so excited that you guys are here because we are breaking free from old patterns, old beliefs, old situations where we felt like we had to keep ourselves small to make other people comfortable. We are breaking free from the old version of ourselves. Everything that we know that we were born for, we leap into it. So today we're talking about taking the first leap. Now, what does that look like? I know you guys are saying like, what the hell is leaping, right? And I want to share a moment when I was stuck in a cycle. That cycle was me feeling disempowered. The cycle was me literally being homeless and broke, always lacking money, always having to depend on other people, always having to have something going on in my life. There was something that was always wrong. And it was because I continued to repeat this cycle from when I was a kid. And I remember there was nobody that I could really depend on because there will always be a situation where someone would fail me. And as a child, when you don't have parents in your life that actually care and love for you and create a safe environment for you, it creates something in your brain that makes it feel like trauma is normal. Your nervous system being erratic and sporadic is normal. And so when we go through life, as I did, it put me in a space where I had to survive at a young age. But even when I thought that I was surviving and taking care of myself, I was still being dependent on everyone else to take care of me. Because for a long time, I felt like I couldn't take care of me. I felt like I could not create a stable environment. I could not create the life that I wanted. And it was because I had these beliefs as a child. But you know what clicked for me? It was me getting out of my own way. When I realized that I was the creator of my reality, when I realized that the moment that I choose to go in a direction where I know it's going to fulfill me is the moment my reality starts to reflect back to the choice that I made. And so it's not the fact that you're stuck in a cycle. It's the fact that you're stuck in the choices that you are making. Because every day you are choosing to stay stuck. Every day you are choosing to stay in a reality that does not fulfill you. When all you have to do is choose the reality you actually want. And this is where transformation truly begins. Now, I just want to talk about why we stay stuck in old realities and old identities. The old identity feels safe. The old identity helps us to feel grounded in familiarity. Like, we do not want to break free from our old lives because the new one, the one that is much more grand, much more luxurious, requires a lot more from us than just being comfortable and complacent in the life that we are living at this time. Like, it's kind of like the subconscious mind wants us to stay safe. So it continues to play this little game of, I'm going to see if I can go in a circle again because I do not want to go in another direction. I don't want to go over here. I don't want to go over there. I want to stay right here. And I want to play this game of chasing my tail because I do not like new things. It's like you're driving with your GPS on. You set a destination and it takes you to the same place that you have been going over and over and over again. And then you're like, how did I get here? But you will always end up there until you reprogram it, until you allow yourself to step out of the regular norm of what you feel like you should be living in your life or what other people feel like that you should be living in your life. Because I realized that most of the time we stay stuck because we are too focused on what other people would think about us if we was to make the decision to change our life in any type of way. You have to understand your life is for you. You are the one that's creating your reality. So if you realize that the people outside of you are nothing but the reflections of yourself, the projection of what you believe that you can achieve, of what you believe you are deserving of what you believe that other people see you. Your self-concept is a reflection of all the people in your life. So it's not about what other people think of you. It's about what you think about yourself. It's about what you are vibrating at. And the moment that you start to break free from the limitations that you put on, the excuses that you continue to make up of why your life is not the way that you want it to be, then life gets a whole lot better. It gets a lot easier because you realize that you're the one that's creating it. And that is not something outside of you. It's not something blowing in the wind, retrograde, or whatever that's causing you to feel a flex, a reaction, or discomfort in your life. Choice creates reality. And if you do not believe me, I want you to test it out yourself. I want you to imagine something, right? But it's going to require you to make a choice. And that choice is going to be between comfortability and something that you've never done. And what I want you to do is choose the thing that you've never done. And I want you to pay attention to how your life starts to shift. I want you to pay attention to how things in your life start to seem different. And it's not the fact that things are different. It's just the fact that you made a different choice. And so a new pathway opened up for you. Every single time you choose to go down a new path, you open up new opportunities for yourself, new realities, new people, new environments. The moment that you say, I'm going to start to create the life. And let's talk about that. How do we actually create the life that we actually want to live? How do we just make a choice? I want you to get out a piece of paper and I want you to write out every single thing that you want in your life. For an example, for me, mine is I know I want to make $100,000 a month. I know that I want to travel first class. I know that I want to get married. I know that I want a daughter. I know that I want sponsorships to different brands. I know that I want to host women events because I want to help women to feel more empowered. These are the things that are in my life. And then after you write this list of things of how you want your life to be, how you want your life to look, how you want your life to reflect back to you, I want you to draw a little stick figure after that. And when you draw this stick figure, I want you to imagine how that version of yourself will be. Will they be a little bit more disciplined? Will they be a little bit more consistent? Will they be a little bit more bold, confident? What are the characteristics that your 2.0 version of yourself look like? How would she spend her mornings? How would she spend her days? What would she produce? What would she create? What would she do to make money? How much money would she make? Be very specific. Then I want you to start to act like her. Everything that you wrote down, I want you to just choose to do that. And that is how you break free from your old reality. The moment that you choose is the moment that everything else around you chooses you. Now that we just created the 2.0 version of ourselves, I want you to understand how to really take that first leap. You would do the first step that I told you to do, right? But then you'll say, okay, well, I did this. Now what do I do? And the first part is already done. You're aware of your current circumstances. You're aware that you're not where you want to be, that you have been putting different things off. But you are now also aware that you have a choice. And that choice creates your reality because you've been listening to Leap with Francesca. And now that you have that awareness, it's time to detach. Detach from the voice that has been telling you that you cannot create what it is that you want. To detach from that old version of yourself that has been keeping you in a box, who has been keeping you from really exploring all of the world, who has been keeping you an alcoholic, who has been keeping you a smoking addict, a heroin addict, an addict of porn, an addict in general. This old identity that has been tainted and traumatized and made to believe that they are not worthy because of whatever trauma they went through as a child, you can now detach from that. And that's the second step of taking the first leap into the new version of yourself, is when you let go and you understand that I don't have to carry these stories anymore. I don't have to carry the burden of what I believe that my life was, because I can always start over and create anew. You can do that. Just as I did in my life, you can always start over. And now the last part, the embodiment part. And this is where it gets good. Because I kid you not, the second that you choose to walk in the 2.0 version of yourself, like that, it's already done. Your life starts to have that snowball effect. You start to see new things in your reality, and you're like, what the hell? A blessing comes out of nowhere, and you're like, wait a minute. Hold on. What is this? What is going on? I never had this happen to me. I have never been this lucky. And it's because you have aligned your actions to your future self. It's not about in the future. It's not about waiting for something good to happen for you. It's about you becoming that version of yourself that already has everything that's good for you. So that means you're more empowered in yourself. And so the next time that you hear yourself say, that's just who I am, this is just what I do, after you have been choosing to stay stuck in a pattern, you correct yourself and you say, no, that's what my old version chose to do, but this is what I'm choosing now. Okay? And I want you to understand that your old version of yourself is not your enemy, because she has been carrying you along the way this entire time. She has been helping you and protecting you and loving you and keeping you safe. But you have to allow your future self to carry the rest of the way, because your future self is what's going to give you the life that you actually want. Because your future self already has it. Your future self already knows what's going to happen. And so the old version of you, you can tell her that it's okay, because you already know the way. Because you do. You already know the steps that you need to take. You already know what's meant for you. And the first step is a leap. And that leap is you believing in yourself. Believing that everything is going to work out exactly the way that it needs to work out. That you're exactly where you need to be. So thank you guys so much for coming to Leap with Francesca. And your leap starts the moment that you stop negotiating with the old version of yourself. If this episode of Leap with Francesca has spoken to you, I want you to share with another woman that you feel like probably needs this to understand that she is abundant, that she doesn't need to do X, Y, and Z to get wherever she needs to go. She just needs to become the woman that she was born to be. This is Francesca reminding you that your leap is waiting and all you have to do is take it. All right. I'll see you guys later. Love.